Pause that for right now. I think I'm going to go for a little while on Final Fantasy. Right, so I think I have to go back to the cave. Somehow didn't get poisoned. Oh, here we go. Quit chomping on my pepper jack. Yeah, you better run.
Oops, all monsters. Chest. At least we got the gold needle back. That's a lot of dead guys. Yeah, I can't even use that. Oh, bat, you son of a bitch. Got him. I was a little nervous at first because I don't have haste. Which reminds me, that's something I need to go get. Like, as soon as I get out of here. Yep, there we go. There it is. Excuse me. Alright, well, let's stay at the inn. And I'll go ahead and get switched over. Should be a race channel and everything by now.
Okay.
Yo, what's up, Firebat? Oh, let's get my hat. There he is. Samus Grayscale. Second opinion? Samus Combat Armor. Third opinion? It really wants me to use Samus. The hat's just like had enough of my goofy bullshit. You're gonna use the actual character to play this game now, you bastard! Hell is this? Mega Man 7? Huh. Strangely underwhelming. Excuse me. Get IRC opened up. MOTD file is missing? What? No such nick/channel? Excuse me? The fuck happened in a week? Um... Let me close Hex Chat and reopen it. Because I have not messed with any settings. I mean, it's irc.speedrunslive.com, right? What's going on here? I mean, my SRL page is still there. What is this MOTD file is missing nonsense? I mean, I'm here. I just... Right, how do I re-register my nick? I forget how to do this. It's what? Nick serve my name and then my password, or... That's the thing I don't understand. Like, I'm here, but something happened. And apparently my nick isn't registered anymore. Which, how does that happen? And apparently the bomb choose link from the top of the IRC isn't working. I already forgot what I needed to type in. Services are currently down. Please try again later. Services are currently down. Please try again later. Try relaunching it. Yeah, Nixer services are currently down. Please try again later. Sloaters may be having the same trouble. Yeah, because, again, especially with IRC, I do not mess with any of the settings that I've gotten to work thus far. Yeah, and I can't join. That is an excuse me, that is an option. We just move over to race time. Hey, that's me. Um, I apparently don't remember my password for race time. I'm taking care of this. Oh, I'm probably really fucking stupid. Okay, I'm signed in now. No response from Sloters on Discord. I'm gonna try Hex Chat one more time, see if anything's changed. Oh, nothing's changed. There we go. All right, and for some reason they wanted me to use Grayscale Samus. Oh, also I see energy at 0 on those. Okay. Looks good. All right, I'll be right back. All right. All right, this isn't gonna work. Let's just have Rainwave going. And then just have race time up. Yo, tablespoon. Oh, I can always get my good luck and have fun. Cut and copied. Oh. Just popped in to say good luck and have fun. That's nice. Something I don't see too much of. Please don't leave me. That's not the enter button. Everyone else can take their time. Luck, fun, good have. Thank you, Firebat. Same to you. We'll throw some luck, fun, and good have out to Sloters as well. Like she fucking needs it, though. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. What was she playing the other day? I think it was... thought it was her that I saw playing Environmental Station Alpha. Which is a neat looking little game. palindrome time. Ow. Ow. 4291. 4291. So last night, I decided to once again try playing Final Fantasy II. I had started it maybe like a week or so ago, and I was kind of unsure about it at first. Because there's no traditional like levels in the game. And it's very much focused more on like stat building. Which, I mean, I kind of like the idea of, you know, if your character has been using a longsword for the entirety of the playthrough, and all of a sudden he tries to hit something with a dagger, he's not going to be as effective. It's that same kind of like weapon-based experience that I like in Morrowind. And it's also a mechanic that gated a lot of people when it came to Morrowind. That was the filter. They picked a fucking knight class, pick up the dagger from the census office, and spend the next 5 minutes trying to hit a mud crab. And then they get all pissed. But the weird thing is, in Final Fantasy II, they show you like these, what I'm assuming are supposed to be like progress bars for the items that your character's holding. So like if they've got 2 different weapons or a weapon and a shield, and I'm assuming the bars are supposed to like fill up as you get experience with those weapons. But for whatever reason, my bars don't seem to do anything. Like they don't fill up. And it really seems like there's something that's like kind of just not working right when it comes to that. Because when I go into the menu and I select the screen for magic, each spell has one of those exact same bars next to it to show you like your progress towards the next level for that spell. And those fill up. But like the progress bars for the weapons after the battles just don't. So there's something kind of screwy with the Final Fantasy II Pixel Remaster. Also, so I was playing for a while, and then I took a break to go get something to eat. I come back, and I all of a sudden notice that I am having a really fucking hard time hitting things and doing actual damage. And it's the same kind of multiple hit system that you see in Final Fantasy I, where you input one attack command and the little text blurb shows up next to the enemy to let you know how many times you hit them from that one attack command. And I started noticing that all of my characters were only doing one hit. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is going on here? Then I started getting like really fucking nervous because of how the stat boosting goes in Final Fantasy II. I thought, oh my god, did I overflow my character's accuracy? If I did, we could have a serious problem. Thankfully, my characters have magic, so I could at least still do damage. But I was really kind of nervous about that for the longest time. And I did some relatively small dungeon while I was having that issue with my character's accuracy. And as soon as I got done with it, I'm like, okay, before I do anything else, I'm gonna, take another quick break. So, close out of the game, come back to it a little bit later, and it's working just fine. Like, I'm actually hitting enemies for an appropriate number of times, and I'm doing appropriate damage. So, there's some bugginess to the Final Fantasy II Pixel Remaster that I have not seen in any of the other ones that I've played. And really, the only one I haven't played anymore is 5. All that being said, I'm pretty sure at some point yesterday I crossed the power threshold in Final Fantasy II. just doing unnecessarily large amounts of damage. If enemies even can hit me, they're doing like next to no damage. All of my characters are over 2,000 HP. The one guy's over like 7,000. Because he just has like really naturally high HP, I guess. That was way too early. And then I did some dungeon out of order last night, and it was like a nice long dungeon. I was in there for a fucking hot second. You know, hey, I love a good dungeon crawl. But yeah, so far, I really don't have anything to complain about when it comes to Final Fantasy II. Oh, baby. It's still got pretty straightforward storyline. It's not as straightforward as Final Fantasy I. But, you know, it's a good one. I have yet to see a whole lot in that game, but I'm actually kind of excited to see it. It's real quickly kind of moved up in the rankings in my head. Mostly because I've actually, you know, spent like a good couple of hours playing it, so I get the feel of the game. You know, it's the most I've played of Final Fantasy II. But already, I'm really starting to think that Final Fantasy V might be my least favorite of the original 6. It's not a bad thing. It's just one of those games has to be on the bottom of the list. And 6 is at the top. I think it'd probably be like 6, 1, 4. Maybe then 2 and 3 are kind of interchangeable for me right now. But then yeah, 5 would probably have to be at the bottom of the list. There's also this other game that I was trying out recently. Power Not Vanguard. Some dirt cheap, teeny tiny game that I have on Steam. I'm not sure I understand it yet. Like, it's a Metroidvania that has a timer? Like, maybe it's supposed to be more of like a roguelike, but presented like a run-and-gun platformer. I'll have to see if it still has a store page. Other than that, it's, you know, kind of black and white pixel graphics, looking an awful lot like a Game Boy game. Like, and it's a fun enough game. I just am not sure that I understand the mechanics of it just yet. Because there is some kind of, like, leveling system. Where you're, like, collect DNA from enemies and use that to upgrade your character. But haven't been able to keep myself alive for long enough to figure out how that's supposed to work. So I think for right now, I'm gonna have to just back shelf, back burner that one. The other thing I did, don't think it was yesterday, I think it was the day before. I was watching more of Murphigator and Asha the Crocodile doing co-op Gunstar Heroes on Expert. And I said to myself, you know what? I kind of actually feel like playing Gunstar Heroes, so I did. Open up my emulator, and I saw a save file that was like halfway through the game. And I'm like, oh shit. This is how far I made it last time I played this, I guess. And I had to check my notebook, because I do not think that I had beaten Gunstar Heroes up to that point. So, you know, start up a new game, put it on easy, and it became very clear to me the differences between easy and expert difficulty. Because I'm used to watching that game on expert. So when I'm seeing the differences, like, oh, that's a big difference. The biggest difference is probably the fact the first time you fight Green, he has, well, Green's gimmick is that he's like 5 or 6 different mini bosses all rolled into one. Because, you know, Treasure loves their mini bosses. Yo, best crabs, let's go. But yeah, like the big mech, the green pilots, has shit. Like, again, like 5 or 6 different forms. Actually, no, it's 7. Because the name of the machine that he pilots is 7 Force. But the deal is, on easy mode, you don't have to fight all 7 forms. Like, you only have to fight, like, 3 or 4 of them. That was really surprising to me. And then they've got a, space shmup section about halfway through the game. And, there's one point where normally there'd be like a million lasers getting shot at you. And then you also have to contend with these like vertically moving lasers as well. Which is weird because they're still like big horizontal lines, but they're moving vertically. And in expert mode, you are just getting shot at like crazy by these other laser beams. On easy mode, they shoot like 5 at you. And then just like the gun just stops working or something, I don't know. And I think maybe some of the bosses have less health on easy mode. Oh, that was a power bomb that I just laid. But yeah, before I fucking knew it, I was heading into the room to fight the final boss, and I'm like, oh wow, this really was pretty easy. I don't know if I'm gonna play any of the harder difficulties. But I, you know, did a quick look through my notebook, and I'm gonna have to look again just to like double and triple check, but a couple days ago, beat Gunstar Heroes for the first time. And I had a couple of boss fights that were like really close calls. But I'm pretty sure I only died once. And, I mean, the game has unlimited continues, to the best of my knowledge, so that wasn't a big deal. But I think I can confidently say, at least when it comes to the Genesis / Mega Drive, Gunstar Heroes is easily my favorite game on that console. And I'm probably going to do a playthrough of it on stream sooner rather than later. But I wanted to check if I actually had Gunstar Heroes on the Sega Classics collection that is on Steam. And as it happens, the Genesis Classics Collection game is not on Steam anymore. It's just not there. Which means all of the 99-cent or $1.99, I think they were just 99 cents, but all of the 99-cent Sega games are also gone. Which initially had me really upset because I didn't remember if I had Gunstar Heroes for it. Thankfully, I do. Gunstar Heroes is the only Genesis game for me. Hell yeah, dude. It's just, you know, as a kid, I never had a Genesis growing up. I had a NES and then a Super Nintendo. Never really got around to Genesis until much, much later. And honest to God, I never really liked any of the Sonic games that much. I understand the appeal, I understand why people like those games. But I've never been that big of a fan of Sonic's games. Again, the only one that I've ever actually beaten was Sonic Advance 2. Primarily because it's a Game Boy Advance game. It's just find it funny that my favorite Sonic game is on a Nintendo console. Go figure. I mean, and there's a handful of other Sega games that I like. Kid Chameleon, I really like. Dynamite Headdy and Rye Star, I really like. I actually need to see how far I am in Rye Star, because I thought I was at least halfway through that game. Shadowrun on the Genesis is a good time. I mean, I did actually play all the way through Streets of Rage 2, but I'm not really high on Streets of Rage. Between Streets of Rage and Final Fight, I take Final Fight. I never really got too far into Beyond Oasis, but that seems like a really cool Zelda-style action RPG. One of the other games that I have on the Sega Classics collection is Fatal Labyrinth, which is a pretty good dungeon crawler. I also have Golden Axe for some fucking weird reason. Like, I really don't like Golden Axe. It's that's the big problem I have with a lot of beat 'em ups. Is a lot of beat 'em ups feel really stiff and really clunky. You know, like Turtles in Time, Final Fight 3, all feel so much better than just about every other beat 'em up that preceded them. Once again, I am a big fan of a good double tap dash. So, you know, Final Fight 3. Hello. Must have been a freebie with Gunstar. I'm almost wondering if, like, if maybe, like, my brother got it for me as kind of a gag gift. But because I don't think they sold those games in bundles. And now the collection's not even listed anymore, so I can't look it up. But I thought all of the games were sold as individual DLCs that were all just like 99 cents a pop. I know Capcom has like an arcade collection where they do the same kind of thing. Where like the base program is free, but then the software, you know, the actual games are sold separately. And I have thought about getting that Capcom arcade collection, even though I've already got that on PS2, I think. But then again, it's on PS2 and not on Steam. Oh no, I see a DNF. Dang, dude, Sloters is down. That sucks. The only real reason I would want to get the Capcom Classics collection on Steam is for Bionic Commando Arcade. But then again, Bionic Commando Arcade is one of the few games that I have on the Wii here, on the homebrew version of MAME, that actually works. We also have the Japanese version. Maybe at some point I'd get Final Fight. It also depends on what other Capcom arcade games are out there. You know who needs to do one of those arcade collections is IREM. Not just because of R-Type, but that's a good reason to do it, first of all. Although I suppose they do just have, like, R-Type collections. And I've got one of them. Still really like the original R-Type. I can never keep straight the names of the two R-Type games that are on Super Nintendo. I know there's Super R-Type, but then there's R-Type 3. And I'm pretty sure R-Type 3 is like the really flashy looking one that I really like. And then Super R-Type is the other one. It's not as flashy. And it sticks more to the same formula that the other R-Type games did. But then Super R-Type was the one that had like the 3 different like the add-on guns, little cores that you get. Had like 3 different ones. So you had more gun variety rather than just having different like pickups for guns. So I'm pretty sure you still get different pickups for guns, but they behave differently with like the 3 cores, the 3 different cores. But man, I extend a very frustrated middle finger towards R-Type 2. That game is fucking rough. Almost couldn't beat it on endless mode with infinite lives. It just got so frustrating. Like, I'd have to look up the number of times that I died in some of those levels, because it was a ridiculously high number. I mean, the only reason I did actually beat it was because I was playing on endless mode with infinite lives. And all endless mode means, in the context of R-Type 2, is, there's no checkpoints when you die. You basically just come right back onto the screen after you die. Even then, dude, that game is rough. Actually didn't die like a cartoonishly high number of times when I was playing the first R-Type. And then there were some levels in R-Type 2 where I died more times than I did in all of R-Type 1. It's the big mean bastard of a video game. Down here and be dead. So the one thing I noticed from watching Murph play Gunstar Heroes a lot, and then me playing it, I might need to check an instruction manual, because I don't know how to do the jump kick. Unless it's just like some kind of version difference. Or like some kind of possible revision or something, I don't know. But that's one of the things I always see Murph doing in big crowded trouble spots is utilize the jump kick because it gives invincibility frames. I do, however, know that if you hit jump while you're in the air, it makes your dude like throw his arms out in front of him. Do like a diving tackle. But none of the other buttons like seem to do the jump kick. And it's not a unless maybe it's like only other thing I could think of is it might be like exclusive to expert mode, but I don't know why that would be. So I think I'm just gonna have to look up the instruction manual and see if it says anything about it. Because I don't think he's playing like the Japanese version, because everything's in English. I mean, that, like, diving tackle that you can do when you hit jump again in midair, it does the same thing as the jump kick, where it gives you some invincibility and it will, like, multi-hit enemies. I also picked up on the throwing mechanic really quickly. The throwing mechanic in Gunstar Heroes is so much fun. Those screens where, like, the bombs are parachuting down from the sky and you're dealing with a bunch of flying enemies. It's such a sick feeling. You jump up, pluck one of those bombs out of midair, and just fling it towards, like, a handful of these guys that are flying around. And Firebat taken first with a 47-44. GG. Also, I happened to get both good and bad luck in Dice Palace. I unfortunately didn't have to fight any well, I should say, unfortunately, I didn't get to fight a lot of the fun a bunch of the fun mini bosses in Dice Palace. Didn't get to face Melon Bread. Didn't get to face Curry and Rice. And then I landed on the go back to beginning square. And then even on my second trip through the board, I still bypassed Melon Bread and Curry and Rice. And I mean, now that I have a better understanding of the throwing mechanic, Curry and Rice wouldn't be that challenging of a fight. And Melon Bread is not a hard fight. But they are the two goofy ones. And I was just kind of upset that I didn't get to face either one. Damn it. I'm getting, like, these little bunny hops. Not committing with these presses of the jump button. Also, I'm less than pleased by my drops here. Apparently all I had to do was complain. But yeah, I think the only time I died was in the the first boss fight against Orange, where you're on the plane. It's like I jumped at the wrong time. He was still on the helicopter blade. And I thought he was about to jump off. And I jumped, he hit me, and I fell off the screen. Hey, Ufir? Forgot to pause during that. SRL is fixed. Nice. Sure. Unfortunately, I think Gunstar Heroes might be a little bit too long to do as an intermission game. But I think I need to find a way to work that into the rotation. I was not expecting to beat it when I just randomly started playing it the other night. I was expecting to get a good chunk of the way into the game and then just, like, get frustrated. But honestly had a really fun time with it, so might just need to make up an excuse to play it again. And again, and again, and again. Yeah, it's a, I'm just trying to think, how many Genesis games have I ever actually beaten? Like, even with save states. I don't even think I've beaten 10 Genesis games. So that was a 55-46. Probably going to be like a really low 58. I can't see Rainwave. Like, I can't see the tab because it's under my chat window. But I'm assuming this is Pac-Man World music. Yep, Pac-Man World 2. Fuck. Yeah, it's gonna be a low 58 now. Where's my mouse? That done. 5802. GG. Oh, hell yeah. Good old quanger. I just noticed that timer at the end of the game said 57:44. And I'm noticing that the credits are going by faster. So this is one of the ROMs that has the extended stats in the credits here. Oh man, I haven't used one of these ROMs in so fucking long. We have 250 door transitions. I remember that being what that's supposed to be. The best Crocomire time. I missed cutting the 7 by, like, not even a second and a half. I can just leave there. Oh, this has to be an older ROM, because I do remember seeing you in the credits, Firebat. Air Force. Perfect Crocomire. Yo, what's up, Real Work? Actually, I can go ahead and clear my Rainwave request line. So you're not much on. Yeah, I had this version of the credits on all of my ROMs at one point, but when I started making newer ones, um, I was I was getting like I was getting some weird bugs with some of the ROMs I was making. Like this one had two of its save files with 0 health. Sometimes people tell me or ask, usually because I beg them to send me their crashing ROM so I could debug it. Eh. But yeah, I forget exactly what it was, but there was some screwy business with the Varia credits. I don't think that was what was making it crash during the opening cutscene. But maybe it like wasn't reading the right save data, or it was trying to create its own save data even though its name was the exact same as all my other ROMs. I don't remember. It's been a long time and I've had a beer since then. Get to a nice spot. Close that out. Bring up Poppy Bros. Switch layout. Let's dive back into Final Fantasy for a little bit. But yeah, I was really kind of surprised when I was running into some of those bugs with Final Fantasy II. Because I have had pretty much no bugs with all of the other Pixel remasters. might have to just do a quick save in here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all of this done during the intermission. Usually if I go around collecting chests, which I probably will. Yeah, this room in particular. It's a big one. You can't even use that, right? Yeah. I use the coral sword, but I'm pretty sure the swords that I've got are better. Yeah. There's still those things up there. No, okay. Yeah, it's so hard to keep all the different Uzis straight in this game. Some are weak to physical, some are weak to magic. And then there's the fucking slimes from Final Fantasy II, which are, like, weak against certain elements of magic. You've got ones that are weak to ice, some are weak to lightning, some are weak to fire. And oddly enough, Final Fantasy II is the only one of the Pixel remasters that I've played so far that doesn't have the same naming scheme for the magic. Like, it's still fire, blizzard, and thunder. But as you level up the spell, as you use it more, the spell becomes stronger. So it's like Fire 2, Fire 3, Fire 4, Fire 7, Fire 8. The other cool thing is, as you use the spell more and more, and it gets stronger and stronger, the animation for it, of course, would change. Hello, sir. Meet my fist. All this mithril shit that I can't fucking use. Yeah, I don't even have my monks equipped with fucking anything except for armlets. Thing is, I don't think they actually get anything. Unless there's like some kind of headband or something that they would get. Must be thinking of a different dungeon that has damaging floors. Because I thought there were a lot more treasure chests. Pretty good levels. That's right. Okay. There's lots of treasures on this floor. Red Daggeron gets punched in the face just like everything else. My sunglasses! That's the button I wanted. Pardon me, sir. More worms. Oops, all monsters. Okay, but none of these are items that I can use as items. Okay, pretty sure bottom left is the one I need. That's where the boss is. And the boss is not going to be that long of an encounter. So I'm not too concerned about having enough time for it during the intermission here. And since I was a big dummy that forgot that Elfheim had 2 black magic shops and 2 white magic shops, had myself a kind of nerve-wracking encounter with the Lich earlier. Yep. But the fight against this boss is gonna be like blink and you miss it. See, he blinked, and he's gonna miss it now. What'd I tell you about blinking? That guy knew better. Oh, caught up with him. My sunglasses! It's fine.
Cool glasses. Dragon.
Oh, that was a big blaze. Okay, there's only one treasure left, and it's the left one here. And it's being guarded by a son of a bitch. Bastards! Yeah, sorry about that, dragon. Can I equip flame mail? No. I can't. It's the one thing with this party composition. They don't really ever get equipment that's that great. But monks do punch the ever-loving crap out of everything. Speaking of which, let's go. Come on. The hell's your name again? Oh, Marilith. Alright. Start with the punches and make with the haste. forget if that stacks. Oh, whatever. God damn, I should have used another high potion. I guess it doesn't matter. Very dead. We're out of there! All right. That is it for that one. Was I saying about nice long dungeon crawls? Hey, you are now logged in as Sir Lewis X. Very good. That one. Funk? Where's my hat? Hey, there. Yep. There he is. Link to the past. Odd. Okay. Oh, man. Not really sure if I have anything to yap about during this run. Already talked about my goofy session with Final Fantasy II. And my adventures with Gunstar Heroes. And I guess I did watch a couple people playing the original Legend of Zelda for the first time, trying not to look anything up. So that was kind of fun. The guy that played through the second quest for the first time was not necessarily thrilled with his idea to do that when he was in the thick of it. I might play the original Legend of Zelda again, but before I even think about doing that, I need to play Zelda 2 again. I like Zelda 2 so much better than Zelda 1. Suppose I can take a moment or two to see if anything has happened on YouTube since the last time I checked. Yo, my dude RPG Looney is streaming right now, and he's playing Super Metroid. RPG Looney's Let's Play of Might and Magic 4 and 5 are still to this day some of my favorite videos to fall asleep to. Ooh. Dr. Doug is listening to 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence from Dream Theater. A lot of speed gaming tournaments. Introvert's got an hour and 12-minute long video retrospective on Alone in the Dark 2024. Also, don't know how well known this particular Twitch stream is, but Azul Indico has 24/7 Super Mario RPG. Just constantly streaming Super Mario RPG footage. I got a notification. An anonymous gifter gifted you a Tier 1 subscription to a channel you have never even been to, let alone heard of. Or heard of, let alone been to. Also eligible to get something for Valorant. I don't know what that is. Anyways, I'll be right back. All right. I guess the only thing I didn't mention about my playthrough of Gunstar Heroes is I was using Rapid plus Chaser. Because of course I'm using Chaser. But I wasn't, and I was on Free Shot. Because Rapid and Chaser plus Free Shot's actually, well, it can be pretty good. With Flame and Chaser, you would probably need Fixed Shot. And I think Double Chaser would probably be the same as Rapid Chaser, where you would want Free Shot. I guess I'm ready. Fun have, good luck. Thank you, Firebat. Same to you. I would also think you would want Free Shot for Chaser plus Laser. Three, two, one, let's go. Given my limited knowledge of Gunstar Heroes, I think the only gun where you would really want Fixed Shot would be Flame and Chaser. Because with Flame Chaser, you control the shot. With all the other Chaser guns, I'm pretty sure it is like automatic homing. It's just, man, sometimes Rapid Chaser has real issues with hitting things. But it worked well enough to get my dumb ass through the game.
And 43-17. Ugh.
And while it's not necessarily a subject that I can expound on for the next 30 or so minutes, I did have a you know what moment when I was at the grocery store. And I ended up getting something that I hadn't gotten before, and I usually probably would not get. And it's incredibly mundane, but my store has 1-liter bottles of flavored sparkling water for 89 cents a pop. And I said, you know what? That actually doesn't sound half bad. and I found out that I really like the black cherry flavor of sparkling water. And again, it's 1 liter bottles, so it's a good amount of it too. And it's 89 cents. You just can't go wrong with some of the store brand stuff. And I've definitely had more than one instance of the store brand of something being better than the name brand. Oddly enough, it was for club crackers. It was like really buttery club crackers that come in the green box. Believe it or not, the fucking Walmart brand of club crackers I actually like better. And then I will never ever stop singing the praises of store brand kettle chips, especially jalapeno flavored kettle chips. Just the right amount of heat in the back of the throat, but you can actually taste jalapeno and not just spice, which is really nice. I mean, I've been getting like store brand cold cuts and sandwich meats for fucking years. As well as like my slices of cheese, and up until just recently, I was even getting like my bread for my sandwiches from the store brand. Making myself whole ass store brand sandwiches. Because yeah, I was even getting like the store brand mayonnaise to put on it as well. This is before my grocery store started carrying Duke's mayonnaise. And yeah, Duke's is pretty good. Actually switched up the loaves of bread I was getting. So I saw that the Lewis Bakery is putting out half loaves for like $1.99. Not that a full loaf of the store brand stuff is that much more expensive. It might be like $2.99 instead of $1.99. But yeah, once I saw that you could get half loaves of bread, I was all over that. Because so frequently, I would run out of sandwich meat or cheese or whatever before I would run out of the bread. And I'd end up having to throw away like a handful of slices of bread because they ended up getting mold. Meanwhile, there's like fucking 8 different kinds of half loaves. I usually get the 12 grain. Because I'm the kind of nitwit that thinks it's fun to pull sunflower seeds out of his bread as he's eating the sandwich. I think I was just trying to think, what else do I buy from the grocery store that's store brand? I do get a lot of stuff from like their deli and their hot food selections. Roasted and fried chickens. Actually just got one of those big like pre-made sandwich packs. It's a big sub that they cut in half. And then they get another big sub and cut that in half. And they sell those 4 sandwiches for like $11, I think. So that's 4 meals right there. Biffed that one all to hell. I'm also slowly but surely working my way through the different sauces in the Asian food aisle. Because believe me, I've heard of all of these sauces before, but I don't know if I've like tasted them by themselves in order to get an idea of what that particular sauce tastes like. I'll tell you what, the one I need to get my hands on again is gochujang. That's some damn good sauce right there. But like, I usually have a bottle of soy sauce. Just as one of my standby go-to condiments. Now I have I have ponzu sauce in the mix as well. Because I usually have bags of frozen dumplings, and ponzu sauce goes incredibly well with the frozen dumplings that I get. Which is, it's basically just soy sauce that has citrus in it. There's still a lot of other sauces that I've seen lots of people using in cooking videos and Asian-inspired recipes that I have not yet tried. But last time out at the grocery store, I decided to change that. And I got a small bottle of oyster sauce. Now, I'm sure that I've had oyster sauce on something or in something, but I wouldn't be able to tell you. You know, I wouldn't be able to tell you what does oyster sauce add to the flavor of something. But then after buying the bottle and trying it, I definitely recognize the taste from some Chinese food that I've had in the past. It can be a little salty, but it's just got this delightful savory taste to it. I usually refrain from using the word umami just because it is such a fucking buzzword. And if you watch a lot of food-related content, you end up hearing that word a lot. And I get it, I know what it means, and I know what they're talking about, but at the same time, savory is a word that does the same job as umami. It's just not a Japanese word. Actually be kind of interested to see if that oyster sauce I have would go well with the bulgogi beef ramen that I have. Because that stuff might be my new favorite ramen. It is so fucking good. And I normally like a good spicy bowl of ramen. I was going with Shin Ramen Black for the longest time. But I don't know, man. Bulgogi beef is a pretty good flavor for ramen. It's kind of a nice change up from always having spicy ramen. The other thing with the bulgogi ramen is it's not served with the broth. There's no soup with it. So once the noodles are cooked, you drain the water and you spread a flavored oil on the noodles. I think that's what you do with bulldog as well. And I think that's what you do with indomie as well. Sometimes you want that Shin ramen broth to go with it. You just get a couple of big mouthfuls of that good stuff. Big bomb. Didn't I do something else dumb and food related recently? Yeah, not really. I was recently watching a video on YouTube of the worst crabs. I was watching a video of someone cooking hot dogs. Apparently they had never cooked themselves hot dogs before. And while I was watching that, I was reminded of years ago, like somewhere around like 8 or 9 years ago, I think. My work had these like newsletters that they would set out by the front door. It wasn't where we had our like sales listed. It was just this fucking newsletter or pamphlet that we had for whatever reason. But one month, the picture that was on the front cover was of different regional hot dogs. And they were going to have recipes for these regional hot dogs in this little newsletter. And yeah, I've tried a bunch of the ones that they had shown. Like a Chicago dog or a chili cheese dog or the New York mustard and onions dog. The one that I hadn't seen before, I think they were calling it the Atlanta dog. And it's not complicated. It's a hot dog that has coleslaw on it. And I'm just like, okay, why would this not work? Like, how is this not going to be good? So I remember I got myself a little squeeze bottle of mayonnaise with avocado oil. And then a small bag of undressed coleslaw. You know, just dry, shredded cabbage and carrots. And I found a pretty good ratio of mayonnaise to coleslaw. Because I don't like soggy, wet coleslaw. I like the coleslaw to have enough dressing to keep it together, but for everything to still be crunchy and not dripping wet. So, you know, found a pretty good ratio. Threw it on a hot dog, and I'm like, you know what? This is really good. This works. I've also put mac and cheese on a hot dog and was like, you know what? This is pretty good. This works. Same thing with baked beans. Also, don't know how common it is to put barbecue sauce on a hot dog. But yeah, I'm once again very glad that I decided to take at least a little bit of an interest in cooking. Not anything I'd ever want to go to school for or treat like a career. But definitely an important skill to pick up. it just, it's always been kind of a concerning thing when I see people or I hear people that are in like their 20s or 30s talking about not having the slightest fucking idea how to cook. And just all they have is microwave stuff. The farthest they probably go is like putting a pizza in the oven. Or like the people that are just completely lost unless they've got the instructions on the package to guide them through the night. That was a dumb thing for me to do. Hit the damn down button too many times and didn't shoot. Laid bomb. Zosty's back. That's what I was telling you, man. He streams more frequently than you would think. And I don't know if he still has this, but when I was watching him like last week, he was playing on some goofy ass looking arcade joystick. I don't even think it was a joystick. It was just like a board with arcade buttons on. It was not the SNES Advantage. That was a fucking terrible opening salvo. I need to check Zost's like YouTube channel or something. See if I can get a VOD of one of his old Alien Soldier runs. Now, Alien Soldier, that's a fucking fun to watch Genesis game. The other, the other high action run and gun treasure game. Of course, now that I've beaten Gunstar Heroes, I'm kind of curious about Gunstar Heroes Advance. Actually need to get my notebook out and do a quick count of how many games I've beaten this year. I know my list of games beaten for the year is longer than it was in years gone by already. I know I did like an overall head count not that long ago. And I'm pretty sure that since I started keeping track of the games that I beat every year, I think that list is around 100 games. Now, a fair number of games on that list are like demos. I won't even say a fair number. I'll say like a good couple. Maybe a handful. Or, you know, they're like early access games that still had enough meat on the bone to qualify as a game. Come on, dickhead. I think I'm at 8 for the year. Oh yeah, I also saw my dude Peaches on Twitch the other night playing through Vital Shell. I about lost my shit. Stopped in and watched for a little bit. It's nice to see somebody else who knows what that game is. I definitely need to play more of that. Well, get your ass back. Oh my god. Pick me up. Come on. Get down in your ball. Hey, there's Firebat taking first. And he took it with a 48.05. GG. Nailed that jump. for the real work slogans you don't yet know. Yeah, that's why you're here. Yep. Correct. G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra. I wonder which of these incredibly similar beat 'em ups is gonna be the first one I get. Because again, there's like 5 or 6 different franchises that all have like a really pretty pixel art beat 'em up to their name now, and it happened like really quick. I think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one was the first one. Maybe, I don't know who came first with this somewhat recent string of pixel art beat 'em ups. Yeah, like the Karate Kid, G.I. Joe, Double Dragon, TMNT, Power Rangers. I'd even throw that Marvel Galactic Invasion in on that list. And it's so funny because I'm pretty sure I need to look this up, but I'm pretty sure they're all made by different developers. Like, it's not just one developer that put out a beat-em-up engine and just slapped a million different coats of paint on it. Hell yeah. Love the soundtrack from Sam & Max Save the World. My history with that game is a little odd. Like, I definitely remember watching long plays of all 6 of the chapters before playing it for the first time myself. Like, well after the fact. But the first chapter I watched was chapter 4, when Sam and Max go to like a virtual reality version of the internet called Reality 2.0. And the thing I didn't know is that there was a lot of stuff set up in the first 3 chapters of that game. All I really knew going into it as a viewer was just, it's Sam and Max. know the characters but never seen the games. Yeah, when I was a kid, I would always see like Sam and Max referenced in the backgrounds of other games, but never had their game growing up. It was only like 15, 16 years ago when I played Sam and Max Hit the Road for the first time, and I instantly fell in love with it. If you like the Monkey Island games, or if you liked Day of the Tentacle, Sam and Max Hit the Road is more of the same. And Sam and Max Save the World um, that was really good. 6-part Telltale point and click adventure. $56.26. You know, back in the day when Telltale Games were putting out multi-episodic adventure games for fucking everything. Because Telltale also did Tales of Monkey Island. They did 2 more Sam and Max games after Save the World, but I can't recommend those. I haven't played them, and after watching the videos, not sure that I want to play them. But yeah, Sam and Max Hit the Road, I think, was from 1993. Whenever I do adventure games on my stream, it's usually Sam and Max Hit the Road, Day of the Tentacle, and then Loom, because I really like Loom. And all of the Monkey Island games are way too fucking long. Like, I love Curse of Monkey Island, but that game is anywhere from like... That game's like at least 3 hours long. At the very least.
Nope, get me out of here.
58-42. GG. That is a gross looking 4. Holy shit. Nope. Dry erase board tried to get away with that gross looking 4. Woo. Save the kills, frame the saves. Gotta love it when Spacer Crab can't make up his fucking mind. You know, one of these times, Rainwave got me thinking, one of these times, I need to, like, actually seriously play Vector, man. Because it seems pretty cool. I remember way back in the day when it came out, you know, a couple of people that I knew that had Sega, you know, it was a part of their collection. I just remember the very first time I played it, I didn't go past the Sega screen. Like, I didn't know you had to press start. So I'm like, I mean, this is cool. And I laughed my ass off when I found that, like, studio light hanging in the ceiling above the camera shot, and I shot that down. Dear Force! Ka-chunk. Your rate for collecting items is this number in yellow. See you next mission. It we did. And we did it till it was done. And then we done did it. I was really hopeful that I was gonna get third in the 9 earlier. But a terrible fate befell Sloaters. So it's hard to get third place in a race where there's only 2 people. God damn it, I'm still trying. And that wraps it up. Another week in the books. Big thank you to Ponk for hanging out earlier tonight. Baldur's Gate 3 is still going pretty well. We are... At least my character is doing a lot better in combat than I thought she would. So... next time, we're going to be taking on a big angry red man and a whole room full of dudes. And of course, a big thank you to Insane Firebat and Sloaters for the races here tonight. Good time was had. Farming those points in the meantime if anyone will ever record the races over there. Right? And of course, for everybody else, Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a good night. And I'll catch you next time. See ya!